Hello, and welcome to the third episode of Highly Effective Physical Education with Lynn and Lynn. My name is Lynn Hefele. I teach physical education at Southdown Primary in Huntington, New York. I'm the Vice President of Elementary and Middle School for the Suffolk Zone, and I am the President and founder of Literature Enhanced Physical Education. And here's my co-host, Lynn Burrows.
Hi, I'm Lynn Burrows. I teach in Colorado at a little elementary school, K-5, and I blog at lovepe.me.
Okay, so we're going to start off this session with Lynn. Lynn's going to talk to us about Sofit.
Right. So I read Nathan Horn said that something on Google today about how he can't wait for September to get over, and I kind of feel like a little bit the same way. I feel like I really overcommitted the last month and a half, and been to lots of trainings and have lots of workshops set up that I'm actually doing. So, and one of the trainings I went to, I wanted to talk about was Sofit, and Sofit is it stands for systematic, or maybe system for observing fitness instruction time. So kind of a weird acronym, but it's essentially a measuring system that allows an observer to come in and measure how physically active students are. So as students enter the class, either from the locker room or into the gym, when class begins, you randomly choose a student, and then every 20 seconds record their physical activity, whether they're in moderate or vigorous, or by kind of moving around, or if they're just walking, excuse me, or if they're just standing or sitting or laying down, and that's monitored every 20 seconds, and then after, I want to say after like a minute or so, you switch to a different student. So you get a pretty good reading of how physically active students are during a PE class. And according to Spark, and there's probably some other research out there, kids should be moderate to vigorous for at least 50% of a class period. And then in addition, you also measure what the teacher is doing, and if the teacher is involved in management or skill instruction or fitness instruction, or if it's gameplay. And then in addition, you measure whether excuse me, the teacher is promoting physical activity. So they're saying, great job, try to kick it again, try to keep going a little faster, that kind of thing, and whether they're also promoting physical activity outside of school, like, this is a great activity that you could do at home, you guys should try this at home, that kind of thing. And that's measured every 20 seconds. And the reason I did the training is because in Colorado it's attached to a lot of grants. And it's actually, Spark uses it to kind of back their, I believe anyway, I'm not a Spark's spokesperson, but I believe that they use it as kind of like, we're sure that Spark works because it shows on the Sofit, like before schools implement the Spark program, which is all about keeping kids moving. And then once the schools have implemented it, then they do the Sofit afterwards to show the increased physical activity and how much more engaged the teacher is in promoting physical activity. So the reason why I'm bringing it up is just being aware of it. I feel like teachers should really be aware of that research, and because it changed my teaching even after the training when I went back and looked at like how I'm teaching, and is there time during the teaching period where kids could be moving moderately instead of sitting down? Could they, am I giving my kids that positive kind of feedback? Yeah, go, yeah, you're doing it right. Yes, I mean, I know I do the instruction, but as far as like how much time I'm actually spending encouraging their activity, it was kind of an eye-opener for me. So really interesting training. I was able to attend for free. I'm not sure if it's offered for free. I know Spark offers it. I want to let's see if I can do this now. I'm going to show the website where this is where Spark talks about it. System for Observing Fitness Instruction Time. And it
Yeah.
talks about how it's not like a judgment. They also have it for recess. And anyway, just a good resource there.
We don't see it up on the screen. Did you try to put it up?
Yeah, I thought I did. Share. Let's see. So now does it show?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Spark website, and this is just talking about like what research supports Spark, also through Spark. So that's.
I'm sorry. People would contact Spark to get you became trained on how to do the data.
Right, and it sounds like it happens a lot, I guess, in college students where they become trained to just go in and observe in schools. I kind of felt like maybe there wasn't a lot of information out there before. Like I know in Colorado we have these people come in and they do the Sofit observation, and I don't want to say it's secretive, but you never really know what they're looking for. And I think I felt like anyway, once I knew what they were going to be looking for after I'd gone through the training, I thought, gosh, I really feel like if every teacher knew that this was the measurement, we could all be better teachers. If this is proven research that this is what we're supposed to be doing, then all the better. Let's get the information out there and start being better teachers. So
I'm going to look into that. I would like to bring that to my district or my AFERD group.
Yeah, and I know that we're part of a grant cycle where we use it as far as one of our points of data. Here's how we know Here's how we know the training works is because our Sofit data is better. So. Yeah, and then another great training that I went to was the PALS training for Let's Move Active Schools, and that was fantastic. Again, I want to share that, so let's see if I can do that. The PALS training was screen share. Let's see if I can get it up. The PALS training again was a free training. And it was, let's see, there's a Spark. It's for Let's Move Active School, and here's the website. It's free. You join for free, and then you try to create a team so you get a couple of your people in your school involved, and it's no commit. I feel like it was very low commitment. So you're just trying to get teachers and parents and community members on board to like increase students' activity levels to 60 minutes a day. And it has these great resources. Can you see this?
Yeah.
These great resources that talk about like, these are some energizers you can do in the classroom, and these are kind of the points of how you increase students to 60 minutes a day of moderate to physical activity. So there's in physical education, how you can do it, physical activity during the school day, so those would be like brain breaks or activity breaks, before or after school, how to involve your staff, and this box activation grant doesn't fit very well with our school just because we have such an early start time, but it's fantastic if anyone wants to get involved in that. Again, it's free, it's through Rebox, and it's I think there's a lot of grant money attached to this. So that said, there's money to employ these kinds of activities where kids before and after school are increasing activity. But anyway, the BOX program, it's training like to bring in community members to help supervise and increase activity before school. So a lot of great resources out there. I put out a survey to our classroom teachers to kind of find out where are you at, how much physical activity are kids getting within your classroom? Are you doing brain breaks? Are you not? How frequently? And I did that through a Google form survey. So waiting to hear back from teachers.
Yes, and was wondering if you could share that your Google Forms with me, or put it up on your blog so that other people can share and use it in their schools.
Yeah, absolutely. To share the Google form, I have to know exactly who wants it, and then I can make a copy of it and share it. And it's a Google form where if teachers say, no, I don't believe in this hogwash, then it asks them specific questions like, what don't you believe? That kind of thing. And if teachers answer, yes, I'm really into this and I do it frequently, then it asks them specific questions just so I can get an idea, like, what does that mean? Is frequently to them once a day, once a month, every half hour. So it's specific. And then it asks, like, the teachers who are actively using brain breaks or activity breaks, would you be willing to share resources with other people? So yeah, I'm excited about it. I think, like I said, it's low commitment. It's not a whole nother committee. It fits well within your school wellness team. So
Terrific, thank you. I think that'll be excellent. I use that in my school.
Yeah, and I know you wanted to share about serial soccer. I can't wait to hear about that.
Yes, I'm very excited. For those of you that know me, you know that I write fictional stories to introduce physical education lessons. I call it literature enhanced physical education. I started teaching this way many years ago, but started publishing my stories in 2009, and I have 7 stories that go with 7 different units throughout the school year, and you're going to hear about all of them. So the first one that we started is Serial Soccer, and it's the story of a baby who dumps over his cereal, and then how a group of mice come out of their mouse holes and use their soccer skills to retrieve the cereal back to their bowl. And in the story, a cat comes out and plays defense. So essentially, I'm teaching soccer to primary school students, K to 3, by putting the skills into a story, and they act it out with their imagination. So that's how it works. I think what people don't understand is I write the lesson plans first. I make my unit plan, and then I write the story to go along with it from there, so that as I'm teaching the classes, I can refer back to the story, and students can pick out the visual and verbal cues that go along with the skills that we're teaching. So this week we started off, I read the story. It takes 3 to 5 minutes to read the story, and then we get into the activities. My really fun thing that I realized this week is that I could use deck rings instead of soccer balls for kindergarten students. And if you ever seen a deck ring, it's like a donut, and we call them Fruit Loops for the lesson. And so the kindergartners would dribble with the deck ring, inside and outside of their foot, and they would pass it with the inside of their foot, and it slides across the floor, but then it comes to a stop, where a soccer ball would just keep rolling away from them, and they couldn't keep up with it. So if you're ever playing indoors with young children, I really suggest trying out a deck ring. It's a lot of fun. So then next week we'll head outside and we'll start playing Serial Soccer, the activity. And Serial Soccer, the activity, I take pool noodles and I bend them to make a mouse hole and stick them in cones. And then around the entire soccer field, there'll be about 12 mouse holes with 3 or 4 students at a mouse hole, so that every child is moving or has a purpose. And so the first child will go out and retrieve some kind of ball from the center of the field. Now, I use a lot of equipment, so I'll have wiffle balls, kick balls, soccer balls, playground balls, all out in the center of the field, at least 100 balls. So when the students come out, and remember, I have 40 to 60 students sometimes when we have 2 classes. And so they'll go out and they'll retrieve a ball, dribble it back. Sometimes the older students will trap it on a spot and then pass it into their mouse hole, almost like a goal. the next mouse will take it and put it in their cereal bowl and then head on out, and that person will go to the end of the line. So when all of the cereal is retrieved back to all the 12 different mouse holes, we'll count up how much cereal each mouse hole gathered. And by doing that, we're meeting the Common Core standards for math. And for each grade level, if you know the Common Core standards for math, then you can determine how you want to do the scoring. So, for example, if we're doing multiplication by threes, then I will tell the students that all of the yellow balls are worth 3 points. And they'll count up the yellow balls, multiply them by 3, and come up with their answer. And then the wiffle balls are worth 1 point, and the kick balls are worth 5 points. And so that they're doing math as they're solving their scoring problem. So that's, and then after that, then the cat comes out and assigns students to be cats, and then there's defense involved. So essentially, rather than having, one soccer game going on or 6 soccer games going on, we have 12 soccer games happening at the same time, and movement of every child the whole time.
That's such a cute idea. I'm kind of getting a better picture in my head now. Do kids, when they go out into the center from the mouse hole to get the cereal, do they, like, some kids are trying to get the same ball, or do they just go to an empty one? But one that someone else isn't trying to get.
They go for their own. As it gets closer to the end, when there's only a few left, it's entirely up to you whether or not you want to give them that free rein of kind of playing for the same ball, or you can just stop the round when there gets to be too few of them and start counting up. The older kids, you might let them go for that same ball at the same time, because that's what soccer's about. But sometimes it can get a little tricky.
That's a really super cute idea.
Thanks. I kind of like it. It's so much fun for me to teach that way, and so much fun for the students. I think one of the things I love about it is that, your athletes are always going to be good, but sometimes the children that aren't athletes or aren't into sports, but they are into drama, and they're, and they aren't afraid to pretend, and
right,
not themselves anymore.
Yeah, and I know that I recently, or not recently, but I have read some research on children with Asperger's and how that kind of storyline, like we're going to be doing a soccer activity, we're going to be pretending that we're mice, and we're going to pretend that the balls are cereal, that really can help those kids when you build a storyline like that. So that's right in touch with bringing in all those populations.
So I do want to share my website so that people can get an idea. So let's try this. And I was able to do it there last time. Okay, so here it is. Here's the website, and down the bottom you can look at this video, and the video will show you kind of how it works.
Literature Enhanced Physical Education presents Serial Soccer.
Well, there you are.
Motivate and educate your students with this whimsical story of a baby that tips over his bowl of cereal and the mice that use their soccer skills to return the delicious morsels back to their holes. This story, which is appropriate for grades kindergarten through 3rd grade, introduces all the primary soccer skills, including dribbling with the inside and the outside of the foot, juggling, trapping, and changing directions. Then, when the cat enters the kitchen, the concepts of offense and defense are introduced. With the cat in the game, the mice need to use cooperative game strategies like passing, leading the pass, and the give and go. Meet the Common Core standards for English language arts by asking questions for understanding about the visual and verbal cues included in the text. Follow the lesson plans included to meet the Common Core standards for math through creative scoring in the serial soccer activities. In addition to meeting the NASB and the Common Core standards, the lesson plans included are 100% maximum participation and contain rubrics for assessment. Serial Soccer is available as a children's book, a teacher's resource, and an ebook format at leapincorporated.com.
So there you have it. That's pretty much what it is. And, you know, for each unit, I have a different story that I, you know, have developed to work with each unit. So that's Serial Soccer. Next month, I'll teach you about Zinni's driving school.
It's really super cute. And you had said something earlier that you were doing something with somebody else's site with the hamster dance, was it?
Yes, let me show you the hamster dance. We're going to use this as our warm-up next time. Hold on, I got to share. This is going to be our warm-up. And I got this from Jim DeLine. He's in Texas. And it is a really, why isn't it coming up? There it is. You see it? Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. It's super silly.
Ride the wheel. All right, lay down and rest. Arms back in layout position. Let's go. Hamsters, ready, up and eat. Down and rest. Up and down. Up.
There's a lot of kids in that class.
Yeah, there is. And every kid was doing the right thing.
Right.
I love that, and it kind of fits. I mean, it's the hamster dance, but, you know, with the mice, it'll work the same way. And
They're all rodents.
right, same rodent. It goes for over 3 minutes, and it's all core exercises. So I think it's going to be a great warm-up for us next week. And Jim is really excited about people using the hamster dance. And if you do, take a picture of your class doing it and send it to him. And he's making a bulletin board of all the hamster dances across the country and around the world. So that's my Serial Soccer unit that I wanted to share. So if you're interested, just go to my website and take a closer look at that and the other books that I have. The other thing we wanted to talk about was Movbands. And here I'm going to share that site, and you can look at that. We talked about in one of our other hangouts about how to use this technology to see how students are moving. And it's an accelerometer, and they put it on their wrist. And so I used it with my 3rd grade class, and we started learning how to use them. And it gives you the time. It gives you the number of movements, not steps, it's movements because it's on your wrist. And it gives you distance in miles. So our students are going to wear them during class. And actually the teacher might have them wear them during recess or class time to kind of get an idea of, you know, how much movement they're getting during the day. And then we're going to log how far we go. This week I'm going to be making a large map that we put up in the gym, and the students are going to start moving from New York all the way to Colorado. And when we get to Colorado, to your school, we are going to hopefully Skype with you. And I know
That's super cool.
Excited.
I'd be curious with the Movbands. I just thought of this because we use the pedometer. I wonder how similar they are. So I wonder if you had a student wearing a pedometer and a Moveband, if it would be a similar, since you are getting a mileage. I wonder if it would be similar.
That's an interesting question, and you know the Moveband, you set you put their age in there, And I don't know what that helps with, maybe with the length of their arm or whatever to be able to measure, the distance moved. But I kind of gave up on pedometers and Movebands and all of that technology being really accurate, and have kind of just gone with the idea that it's going to show them a more or a less. They think it's accurate, but I don't know how accurate it's going to be, but we're just using it as a guideline.
Well, I do know that when I put the pedometers on my kids, their activity level just skyrockets, and I think that's true for most people. Most people find that they will do anything to acquire those steps. I mean, they jump in line, they run in place, they just like wiggle, 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 wiggle.
And what's funny about that is I had to kind of I think people have to get away from the concept that children have to sit in line to wait their turn. I have stopped sitting in line unless it's not safe. You don't sit when you're waiting in line. You're either coaching the student in front of you because I've given you a cue. Like in soccer, we were doing throw-ins yesterday or 2 days ago, and the person that's the next person in line had to watch for a foot, the foot going on the line, or had to watch to make sure their feet didn't leave the ground. And if they're not the coach, then they have to be moving. They're doing jumping jacks or push-ups or wall sits or something. We have to get away from the idea that waiting your turn means sitting with your legs crossed and your hands in your lap. And I think that's what Movebands and pedometers have done for us.
Yeah, I think it's all kind of that same thing that goes back to the 60 minutes a day with the Sofit, and what are the majority of the kids doing? Are they really being active? And sounds like the Movbands and the pedometers just enhance that.
What I also wanted to mention, what I like about the Movbands, and I don't know if pedometers have gone this way yet because I haven't looked at them in a while, is that the Movbands recharge through an ISB port, device that I plug into the wall, so that I'm not constantly having to buy new batteries, because that was a problem when I used the pedometers. Do your pedometers need batteries, or do you recharge them?
Oh yeah, they need batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that whole headache.
Yeah.
It's any kind of technology.
Yeah, the Moveband, even though I do have issues with having to make sure I recharge them every week, it's cost effective because you don't have to. They are $20, I think, a pop, but and I got them through a grant, so it didn't come out of my phys ed budget. I got them through a grant, but now I don't have to keep buying batteries, so I do like it for that.
Yeah.
So
There was.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
So then after we visit you, then we're going to head down to Jim DeLine. And I just want to throw it out there for anybody on the West Coast. I'd like to find another school district that we can come out and visit so that my students will have traveled all the way across the country. So if anybody out there would like to be our final stop on our journey, email me. You can find my contact information on leapincorporated.com.
I did want to mention one thing that Mike Graham does. I think he's PE for every kid on Twitter. Anyway, because he had commented on my blog about how his students use pedometers, and at the end of class, it sounds like they just pass maybe a couple iPads between them, recording their steps on a Google form. So they're recording the steps electronically, and then that might make less paper. But I know when I've recorded that, it's so good to have the kids read that number, isn't it? Because some of them initially have a hard time even reading a number over 1,000.
Yes, and the pedometers, they give the steps, the movements, which the numbers come in over 1,000, but then they give the mileage, which is in a mile and tenths of a mile. So they're learning 1.2 miles or whatever. And then the teacher is going to take that information and have them add it up in the classroom, which initially was going to be a problem for me because I thought I'd have to do it in the gym, but she's going to take it over and do it in the classroom.
Yeah, that's a super cool thing. I can't wait till your kids get all those steps in and they get to Colorado.
Yeah, I'm excited too to come out to Colorado, and hopefully by then I'm putting in for a huge grant. It's called our Hefele grant, Huntington Foundation of Excellence, and my principal and I are putting in for a 70-inch flat screen TV or monitor for the gymnasium. So I'm hoping that we have that by the time we get out to you.
That's really cool. I know we're trying to get that. I'm trying to get a short throw projector with the Apple TV, and I feel like it's about to happen. I've been talking with our tech person about it. There's a couple of glitches just in how to suspend it. But yeah, I think as far as like, you know, doing some sort of projection in the gymnasium is so huge.
That's definitely the way that I think physical education is heading, and I'm excited about it just because there's so much YouTube teaching. If you go, you know, to YouTube and click on anything you want to teach, there's a small clip for anything. And if you go on my website, here I'm pushing my website again, but I have a page of teacher resources, and we're teaching soccer. I just put up 12 different, very short, elementary-focused YouTube clips for teaching soccer.
Well, that's great to know. I'll check those out. That's good. I did want to mention one other thing, Anna. I had a cool thing happening on my, well, kind of through our last hangout. I don't know if you noticed Alex O'Brien had left some comments, and I wasn't familiar with him, so I kind of backtracked and watched a little clip that he's in from the PE Summer, no, it's not called the PE Summer Institute, the National PE Institute, I think that's the name of it. That is held over the summer. Anyway, there's a little clip of him teaching, and the title was "Content is King," and it sounds like he kind of meshes with you and I in really believing that you don't do anything just for activity's sake, but you always try to infuse it with additional content knowledge. And so we started talking, and I talked to him on the phone, and he agreed that he would love to do some guest blogs. So he's doing some guest blogs on Love PE, and I just want to, well, I don't need to screen share, but anyway, I didn't realize initially how funny he was until he sent me his first guest blog, and it's this video of him, and like at first I didn't get it because I just, you know, I've never met him in person and I just don't know him, but it's a video of him impersonating a interviewer interviewing himself. So yeah, it took me a few, like, I'm like, what? Yeah, but and then he added another guest blog where he kind of talks about content is king, and anyway, it's good information.
Yes, I met him, and I checked out his Content is King website, YouTube videos. They're very funny. They're great. So, all right, I'm done from here. How about you?
Yep, I think it's always great to talk to you on a Sunday morning, and
all right, we'll look at next month, sometime in the middle of the month, maybe. All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks for stopping, everybody. This is the end of our third episode. Looking forward to the fourth. Take care.